Yeah, good afternoon, everyone. I'm CA Hema Shah, the moderator for this webinar. We are delighted to welcome you all in the webinar being organized by Continuing Professional Education Committee of ICAI. It is my pleasure to be a moderator for the webinar on overview of SME ecosystems and Indian economy and IND AS, Ocean of Opportunities for CAs. In a short while, we will start this webinar. I would like to apprise you about CPE committee. The role of a chartered accountant is evolving continuously to accept newer responsibilities in a dynamic global environment. The future of CA profession depends on being flexible and open to innovation. Therefore, the need of the hour is to innovate as per the requisites of the contemporary business environment and accordingly upgrade the curriculum and education system of CA course. The committee also believes that members of ICI should look beyond the traditional areas of practice and seek and explore new areas of business and profession. And hence, the CPE committee is mentoring its members by providing guidance through various workshops, seminars, national conferences, background material, etc., and simultaneously by encouraging young and dynamic professionals to grow as speakers, MOCs, etc., in CPE programs. Now I would request Ashok ji for the Gloplac video. Ashok ji? It isn't playing as such still.
So we'll wait for some 10 seconds, Hemaji. If
Okay.
not played, then we'll move ahead.
Okay, fine.
Anyway, I will request with technical team, just you test meanwhile. Meanwhile, Hemaji, we may, ahead with the proceedings.
Okay.
Later on in second session, before of the second session, we may do this.
Okay, fine. So, just to continue with our program, our program for today's evening is as follows. We have two sessions of 1 hour each, and the topics are Indian economy and how SME ecosystem is playing pivotal role by getting listed, as well as IND AS, the second session, which is Ocean of Opportunities for CA with its applicability come history. Our eminent speakers will talk about the above mentioned two emerging areas of professional interest. Now, I would like to start off the session by introducing our first speaker for the day, CA Abhishek Vijay Kumar Sharma. A brief introduction about him. He has worked as an investment banker for a decade at leading organizations. He has an abundant experience in various fields like corporate finance, in treasury, merchant banking, valuation, and tax advisory. He also specializes in European securitization, stressed assets resolution, and ESOP advisory. So I invite our first speaker, CA Abhishek Vijay Kumar Sharma, for deliberation of his session on Indian economy and how SME ecosystem is playing a pivotal role by getting listed. Over to you, CA Abhishek Sharma.
Good afternoon, everyone. Thank you. Thank you, Mrs. Hema and Mrs. Tiwari, for giving the opportunity to speak about. And I guess, yeah, good afternoon. So, Abhishek Sharma, I represent an organization called GYR Capital, which is a SEBI registered investment banking firm, and we are this topic of Indian economy and SME ecosystem is absolutely close to us because the kind of work we do, that is absolutely in relation to what exactly our economy and SME ecosystem. Like we meet a lot of entrepreneurs, companies, we see promoters how they are doing the business. So this topic is in a way very close to what our workings are. And so to start with this topic, I have bifurcated this topic into, yeah, I have bifurcated this topic of Indian economy and SME ecosystem into two different arena. Like we have heard a lot of time, like SME is a backbone of our country, and our economy in a way is 60 to 70% relied on SME ecosystem, or more precisely an MSME ecosystem. So I would love to highlight more about Indian economy, the outlook of our economy, and how we are shaping up. And for that, I have taken references of some of the eminent guys who are, just not for the case of biasness, some of the eminent names like Ray Dalio, who has recently come up with its best-selling author book called The Changing World Order, where he has focused a lot on about Indian economy. So the mix of the bundle of the information what I have read, being an avid reader, and whatever outlook I have collaged with, there I would uh, give a gist about it. So when we start with Indian economy, the term which everyone would be going before after the completion of this event, everyone would be taking home a very interesting term called Triveni Sangam. So India is right now passing through a very transformational time where three major factors like political factors, social factor, economical factor, all three are coming at a one situation, and this is making a confluence, a powerful confluence, which I would be naming it as the Triveni Sangam. So everyone knows about this place somewhere at Prayagraj, where three rivers flow together. And this happens in a decade. So the same thing, what transformational changes which are happening in India, which is actually after number of decades and century, this is happening. So one by one, we would be focusing about this Triveni Sangam, which is more very crucial about India, and it's about how next decades as well as centuries are going to perform. So I'm going to highlight about the outlook. I would be first starting with the social arena of Indian economy. If we go through our India and how the things are shaping up one by one, I cannot highlight about all the factors, but the major factors which are reason of transformation of our country, which the last century, 3 to 4 century, which has not been witnessed, which we are now witnessing. One of them is the female foeticide, which is the rampant killing of the infants, the girl child in our country, which has dramatically come down, and the ratio is breathtaking. It is more than 35%, which happens in a decades. I mean, there is a transformational change in the mindset of the people. So the female foeticide has been curbed dramatically. The gender ratio, which was skewed towards the male, has skewed. In fact, it has made a reverse. It has skewed towards the women's side. So equality we have reached, and this is one of the important part for any society. If a society which has to be peacefulness, growth oriented, where there is a trust, harmony and respect for each other, the social factors plays a very key role. So the, like I've said, the gender equality we have achieved. If we talk about the infant dying ratio, which was rampant in our country because of not proper medicinal facilities and the lack of hospitals, doctors, lack of a quality life which we are not able to give to infants, which has come down. Again, this happens in a decades. So this has come down to 25%. So these all are the social factors which are actually giving a state and a positive shift of mind to the citizens of country. So these are, apart from that, if we focus where government has, where like abroad people are talking about India stack 1.0, what ultimately this country is doing. So in terms of DBT, that is direct benefit transfer, and which was very important for any country who wanted to have a mindset of capitalist but work more like in a socialist way of. So this reform has actually changed, a dramatic change in our country. So, like when we talk about the digital, the benefit, direct benefit transfers, DBT. So, the major role which has been played by that is Aadhaar. So, like everyone, anyone asks, the, I mean, what exactly does this mean actually when someone is having Aadhaar? So Aadhaar ultimately defines what is my identity, who I am. Like Google location speaks about where I am. In the same way, the DBT on basis of Aadhaar speaks about what is the identity of this person. And when 150 crore people's identity has been synchronized, that means myriad of transaction on basis of that stake data can happen, and that's what we are seeing in terms of digitalizations. Like property could be buy, goods could be buy. There are numerous transactions which happen because of this India 1.0 stake. So this DPT, if I focus more about last 30 years, in 30 years Indian government has spent around $500 billion to give the benefits to the poor people. But ultimately, what happened that because of lack of system or lack of a machinery, because of that, these benefit was not transferred to the end users. And ultimately, what happened? Capital cronyism happened in our country. That $500 billion left with the middlemen, eaten up the major pie, and that's why our country, there were tons and tons of poor people in our country. I mean, if I talk about our country, there are currently 23.1 crore people who would not get meal tonight. So, I mean, we are literally outliers. The kind of life, the kind of opportunities we have got, definitely, uh, because of this tons of poor people in this country. So that social arena is very important to take out such people from this the circle of poverty. So yeah, things has been changed a lot. Like if I discuss about recently data which has been released by United Nations, from 2005 to 2020, last 15 years, more than 40 crore people or 400 million people has come out of the regime of poverty. So we can understand how this transformational change, like direct benefit transfers, like I talk about numbers, last 10 years, in last 10 to 15 years, Indian government has spent around $400 billion to in just direct benefit transfers. That's why when we look at uh, situations like COVID, when European countries or US countries were facing immense challenges, at that time, Indian country does not face the problems of rampant inflations because we did not straight away transferred $800 to every individual's account. Rather, our more focus was on how poor people through the QR code get the benefit of getting grains or their basic needs. So in this flow of river, the first thing, the social river is has played a very important role to create a society where slowly, gradually, in last 1.5 decade, more than 40 crore people has come out of the regime, and everyone is having their Aadhaar identity, which is playing the most transformational role of India. If I come to, so this is our first river into our Triveni Sangam. The second river which is flowing, and that is flowing with audacity of such level of growth which even the world is talking about, that what this nation is doing. And I'm talking about economical factors. So if I talk about some on the supply side reforms, like what are happening, if you look at India's corporate taxes, so corporate taxes has reduced dramatically from 30% to 25%. Those startups who are coming after a specific number of year, so they would be getting a benefit of taxations. There are successful implementation of goods and service tax. Because of that, a lot of corruption has been controlled, a lot of bureaucracy issue has been resolved. The government has got the benefit of increased revenue, and ultimately these revenue would be utilized for the beneficialness of the country and their people. If you look at the successful implementation of real estate regulation act, because of that, flagrant violations, the builders lobby were creating such kind of rucksack for the general citizens. So there is a strictness by the government through RERA. If you look at IBC code, that IBC code has been successfully implemented. So on the supply side, supply reform side, the government has come up with the major factor which are very much important for doing the business. So definitely people would not be agreeing with what I'm speaking. But if you like about doing the easiness of business in India, but if you look at 20 years back or 10 years back, the way business was being happened in India, and if you wanted to start your venture and you start today, there is a lot of differences. So I'm not saying the change is the absolute change might not be there, but definitely there is a delta which is on a very bright upper side. If we look at the infrastructure side, which is very interesting, and me and my team at GYR, which is working, in fact, till yet the working has been going on. If we look at the investment in infrastructure, so our stake of infrastructure investment is much ahead of China. Maybe it is ports, airports, railways, road networks. So because of this, the the travel time in transit of the goods has reduced a lot. The time taking to reach to a destination or inventory into pipeline, which has come down dramatically, which is ultimately impacting the business, and less working capital is being channelized into the business. So across infrastructure sector, if you look at aviation sector, the number of airports are coming up, or maybe the kind of development which is happening, which is actually making a big change. And these economical factors, so like whenever we talk about economy, so economy always comes up with the mindset of a capitalist nature. So if I give you an example, those who have not heard about a guy called Mr. Kenneth Arrow. So Kenneth Arrow was the guy who come up with a thought process about capitalists. Like capitalism creates too many creates extreme sides of an economy where too small people become too rich. But then that problem definitely happens wherever the economy grows. But then when you have a very proper reforms of for social those people who uh, are not got the benefit of socialism, like we have discussed about Aadhaar stake by 1.0 stake, there are too many people, poor people, who have come out because now they are getting the direct benefit. So it's like when you give an equal opportunity to people in an economy to run, maybe they cannot beat Usain Bolt, but then if you give a room to them, if you give them 300 or 400 meter ahead of them, at least they would be part of the race. So that's what actually happening in our country. So these all supply side reforms has made it a dramatic transformation. And one more thing, which I would say that socialism was not able to address it. That's it. the reason of failure of socialism was when business was happening at that time, there were entrepreneurs, but they don't get the equal opportunities. So this problem has been addressed properly by the existing government in the rightful way. Like I give an example of our Indian economy in 2015, the decision which was taken by Ronald Reagan, president of USA in 1970, that was about the 401k plan, which used to be said. So whatever the money into employees pension fund or such pension money or endowment money, that money started, the government take the decision that this money, instead of invested into golds or such kind of asset, this should come into the economy by way of investing into equity market. So ultimately that allows capitalism to grow. So the same thing in 2015, government has taken the call, and in 2015 government, the structure of government's investments was like 5% at that time. The investment was into equity, 12% into gold, 50% was into property, and residual into fixed deposits or treasuries. That mindset of government has been dramatically changed. Sorry, that has been changed, and now more and more money is been funneling into equity market, and because of that, the entrepreneurs, promoters are getting equal opportunity to receive the growth capital. So the mindset of coming out of that, investing into gold. So government has also realized that gold is not an asset, and definitely an asset is such kind of an uh, asset which yields something. Gold never yields something. If you are having a debt which gives you coupon, if you are having a property, it gives you rental. If it is a fixed deposits, it gives you equity, gives you dividend as well as the capital gains. But that's not the case with gold. Gold is good with safety, or whenever there are structural issue in the country, at that time gold plays a pivotal role. So ultimately government realized that more and more investment should come in form of equity, and then only the ecosystem of entrepreneur should happen. So that's what, if we talk about this Triveni Sangam, the economical factors are playing really very important role. And the way country is growing, the way money into ecosystem of equity is coming. So this is really playing very important role. If we talk about our third factor, that is political factors. So our country since last 30, 40, I would say 5 decades has passed, and we have majorly focused more on being the socialist side. But then ultimately this mindset has been changed, and now government's mindset is more about how we can uh, have, we are in midst of a profit boom where we can give equal opportunity to promoters, businessmen, entrepreneurs, how they can get the opportunity, how they can make profits, how they can build up, how they can create jobs for the country. So after decades, these three factors, and most important, the most stable factor, which we most stable government which we have received uh, after ages, and these three rivers are flowing together, which happens in a decade. And that's why, if you look at the outlook of our country, so if the guy whose name I was talking about, Ray Dalio, who runs a $20 billion fund, who, why these American hedge fund managers are so inclined about India, why they are so optimistic about country. These words we are not speaking that we would be grow by 7% or 8%, but these are the mindset of these big hedge fund managers, because ultimately they are looking at how country is taking a shape up. So this is what ultimately about India. Now if we look at uh, uh, how world is actually playing, so definitely when we are a part of a country, when we are part of a world, how our country is faring and how world is faring. So we need to understand how the demographics, how world is playing, how they are performing, and how it can impact us. So definitely, if we look at the current scenario, the world is at mess. And if I try to make it more explainable, the four factors where India is actually having an edge in all the four, and where major developed countries are actually facing the true heat. Like if I talk about demographics, so across the country, like America, whose the aging has started, the population has started degrowing. European, I mean, there's my friend who used to call it, it's an open air museum. Like you would find only aging people. The same, China's population in last year has started aging. But if we talk about India, India's median age is around 29. So India's demographic are still intact, and at least this would be intact till next centuries. Second, if we talk about digitalization, this factor is one of the most promising, and this factor has played a most important pivotal role in India. The way the number of Aadhaar, the India stack story, the way uh, 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 people or consumerism has been started through payment gateways, and there are so many companies who are adding subscriber. In fact, our life has been changed so much. We are hardly using credit cards. Cash is all about, I mean, so these things are actually channelizing, and we are much ahead in terms of digitalization when we talk about US, European, or Chinese in terms of that. The third factor where mess is actually the biggest, but we are biggest beneficiaries, that is decarbonization. Like when you talk about Europeans or Americans or German or Chinese, for ages they have built up the fossil fuels, and now this is the time that world is talking about green energy, carbon free. At the time they have to cut their fossil fuel, so we can understand the kind of the fossil fuels they have built up. And on the contrary, if we talk about India, India is at a very uh, very interesting situation where, because we did not build up anything, we don't have to cut down any carbon emission, and are we are aggressively on green energy. So that's why the kind of companies like solar energy, green energy, hydrocarbons, such kind of companies are building their capabilities in India, and they are the futures. So in terms of decarbonization, we are much ahead, and we don't have that kind of a stress which world is facing. So definitely these four factors which are actually very negative for world. But then for, and one more factor which is the debt. If we try to understand what is debt, debt is basically who has spent its future earnings of future by taking something. So if we talk about America, they are right now running up, at a 220% of their private uh, GDP debt. If we talk about Japan, it is around 200%. Germany, it is around 180% of private debt. But when we talk about India, it is just 58% of debt. So definitely the next generation is definitely going to utilize it. But then, so these are the problems. And beyond that, the biggest problem which West is facing in terms of energy consumption, like if I come back to the topic of decarbonization, if we talk about an average American, he utilizes around energy of 8,800 watts or 9,000 watts. Now how much that 9,000 watt is actually, it is equivalent to five elephants in African region having its one side of a food, or 1,000 banquets, 1,000 people gathering banquet, the lights which are emitting, such kind of energy is being utilized by one American. On the contrary, if we talk about our energy use, that is hardly 300 watts. So there's a big difference. So, and that is apart from food. If we talk about the Europeans and US, they use around 500 watts of energy in terms of food. So when I use the word food, that is modern food like fast foods, burger, which definitely our country also has started growing that pattern is, but still Indians are at around 150 to 200 watts. So like when someone asked me this question, how this problem of hungerness could be solved, I straight away said, if Europe and America stop wasting their food, the world's hunger problem could be easily achieved. So that's why these all factors put together, India is right now at a very interesting phase, which again I would repeat, it take decades to happen something in week. And that's what we are witnessing. So with this discussion, I have some key takeaways on the bottom side, which I would love to highlight. What ultimately this means for India and its equity market. What does it mean to entrepreneurs? What does it mean to chartered accountants like us? India is tend to grow 7 to 8% in next 10 decade, next 1 decade. So next 1 to 2 decades belongs to our country. Our inflation rates has been benign, would be benign, and it would be in the range of 3 to 4%. So that means our country would grow at around 11 to 12%, which is a very healthy compounding rate looking at the world which is into the mess. The second most important thing is our share of global trade would rise. Now, this is very important. Why? Because if we look at these numbers, like if I talk about 30 years back, the share of global trade in service segment was hardly, it was, I guess, 0%, around 0%. But if we talk about pre-corona, it was 3.5%. Post-corona, it is 4.7%. So that means dramatically the service sector is going to grow leaps and bounds, and still just it's 4.7%. If we talk about global trade of share in terms of manufacturing, 10 year back it was 1.7%. It had been, I mean, one decade back it was 1.7%. It was stagnant. But the kind of changes, like when I meet a lot of uh, the global MNC's director, and the way they talk about setting up their shops in India, manufacturing setup in India, they are very keen to, like Micron is coming in India to set up its semiconductor facility, which recently in Gift City, Gujarat, they the biggies of all semiconductors came. So the and currently, if I talk about this number, this is from 1.7% to 1.9%. The growth is incremental, but the kind of mindset and this Triveni Sangam is giving an opportunity. These multinational company wanted to come in India, set up their floor, wanted to give an opportunity of employment, and our share of global trade would rise immensely. The third is consumption is set to change. This is really very interesting. I was just looking at some data, and the data was our uh, the pyramid of country is something like this. Like here on the top of the side, there are around two and a half, uh, 25 million people who have the global standard kind of rich life. In last 15 years, around on the bottom of the pyramid, around 41 crore people, and that's a very big number. Again, that happens in a decades, has come out of the poverty area. So that means our country, uh, the poor people are coming out of the regime, and we would be adding more than 2 crore people, around 20 million people we would be adding up in the global standard of rich people. So that means, I mean, if we look at the way the Zara is coming in India, Hermes, the rich brand, the Gucci, Pradas, and the way BMW, Mercedes, Rolex is a very common thing. So that's why they are setting up their base in India, because they know the consumption is set to change. This 40 crore people which are out of the poverty, they would soon sending their daughters to the school, they would paint their home, they would go for vacations. There would be a lot of consumerism which is going to happen. This is something which is not happening across the board. in any country. So this consumption set to change is definitely going to give a lot of opportunities for such kind of an entrepreneurs. They can be in a good tailwind industry and enjoy the good margin. The fourth, the most important thing, which is from the government mindset, the shift in mindset from socialist to capitalism. I mean, we are right now in midst of a profit boom. Government really wants entrepreneur that they make money, and if they would be making money, there would be streamlining of revenue, and on sell side of reforms, these money could be utilized to create a carve out a path for the growth. So there is a shift in mindset, and government is giving equal opportunity to promoters who can build up their business, and that's why SMEs are positioned very strongly, and they are going to positively impact our country. So this is the transformational, the confluence of these three rivers are making changes for the India. So this is about our economy. Now, somewhere we are very much active, and that is called SME segment, small and medium enterprise segment. So basically, it is called MSME. So where I would be giving a thoughtfulness about how SMEs can get benefit by getting listed and ultimately play a key role uh, to economy. And that's where chartered accountants like us get a great opportunity, because this is a very new area, and I would like to give a small highlight about this area. Like when I entered into accountancy, and when I accomplished that, so a lot of eminent CAs used to speak about find your niche, identify an area where there are no people, and you can create your own dominance there. So coincidentally, being an avid reader, at a very right time, I clutched up a book called Blue Ocean Strategy, and that book was more about how you can find a niche in an area and where you can explore that. And somewhere when we were looking at the international market, like mother stock exchanges, Japan or Singapore's Catalyst or London's AIM, we looked at that IPOs are raising capital or bringing IPOs is not only about the multinationals or big company, even small companies can bring up that. And at the same time, Bombay Stock Exchange and National Stock Exchange had their platform, but that platform were very nascent or at an initial stage. So at that time, we came up with a mindset of this is somewhere we can create a blue ocean mindset. We can create our own world where there is no competition, and by providing a right blend of uh, what we say services, by raising capital, these organizations can build. So that's why SME, if we try to understand, which are positively impacting our economy, and to impact them positively, capital raising program is the most important. So there are around 6 crore SMEs, 6.5 crore SMEs are in this country. So out of them, 95% are micro. So that's a micro, definitely such kind of an organization whose turnover is less than 5 crores. So here I would be talking more about such organization whose turnover is between 5 crore to 250 crores, which fall under MSME segments. So these SME segments, which have a lot of challenges in terms of, so definitely they are having an, so our global outlook is very positive, but on the contrary, supply side, they require a constant capital to funnel their growth. So India is also facing a lot of challenges for these SMEs. They have limited access to equity capital, they have high cost of credits, they have lack of availability of adequate and timely credit, they require collateral. So these problems which we have addressed, that's through getting the company listed and raising capital. So if I highlight some interesting numbers, by getting listed and raising capital in last 1 decade, this segment started in 2013, and by 2013 to 2023 till yet 845 companies had got listed, and around 13,000 crores has been raised, which is more than $2 billion, and around 1,80,000 crores market cap has been created by this segment. So when I explain this number, how much market cap has been built up? So it is equivalent to one Coal India or half a size of Life Insurance Corporation listed market cap size. So you can understand this is just an initial start of this segment, and there is only 845 company. And if we try to understand India, how many exact SMEs are there? So the number is around uh, three 3.5 lakh. So around 50,000 companies are there whose turnover is between 50 to 250 crores, and around 3 lakh companies are there whose turnover is below 50 crores. So 50 to 250, around 50,000 companies in India. So these companies, whenever they require growth capital to grow their business and fight with these issues like high cost of credit or collateral requirement, at that time they can get themselves listed and explore these platforms. So when we talk about SME, these are the key benefits. Like, definitely when you get listed, there are your visibility get enhances, you get access to capital, your brand get promotes. Like, I give an example, like we recently got one company listed known as Basilic Fly. So that IPO was around 66 crore rupees, and that company raised more than 14,000 crores subscribed. Now that Basilic Fly is so famous, like majorly all equity investor, predominantly everyone knows about that name. So in this, uh, so it gives you a brand promotion with a very minimal cost. There are strategic alliances, like you can be a part of M&A, you can get some great clients, you build up your rapport by getting a listed. And asset leverage, like you can whenever you wanted to raise debt capital, you can pledge your shares and raise capital. You get cost efficiencies because now a listed company, so you are into an ecosystem of such players. Sorry. You built up an cost efficiency. So these all are the advantages of SME listing, which earlier it was only to large caps or multinationals, but now this is also uh, uh, to small and medium enterprises. When we talk about listing, there are in India there are two platforms, that is NSE Emerge and Bombay Stock Exchange SME. So these two platforms, these are their eligibility criterias. The criterias has been designed in such a way that companies like really who are part of small and medium enterprises could get themselves listed, raise capital. So the it should be first of all a public limited company. So if it is a private or it is an LLP or a firm, it has to be converted into a public limited. And then your post issue paid up capital should not exceed 25 crore. If it exceeds 25 crore, then you are eligible for main board IPO. If you are wishing for getting your company listed on NSC, out of last 3 years, the 2 years should have a positive operating profits, then you are eligible for. And apart from that, you should not be you should not have your not any insolvency or any winding up petition should not be there. So if you accomplish these criterias, you are eligible for NSE emerge. In the same way, NSE, there is one more stock exchange in India, that is BSE SME. Again, the paid up capital should not exceed 25 crore. Here, the net tangible assets should exceed 1.5 crore. And out of last 3 years, in any 1 year, your cash accrual, cash generated from the business should have a positive, then you are eligible for IPO. This is an how in BSC SME SME platform you can get your company listed. So these are some of the steps. So not going with all steps, but one by one, if I try to explain, it's initially like meeting with the client, understanding their business, understanding about valuations, going through the background of promoters, business quality, how strong the business is. The strength ultimately decides the valuations. On basis of that, the investment banker or merchant banker does the due diligence and does the site verification report, discusses with the management and structure the IPO and finalize the due diligence report. Then we prepare the draft red herring prospectus, submit to the stock exchanges. Post submission, we get the observations which redressed by the team. And once that RHP has been submitted, after that the issue for specific 3, 4, 5 on basis of the right timing of the market get open. And India is, like I said, the transformation. One more very important part is earlier the company used to get listed, which take T plus 7 time, which has substantially gone down to T plus 3. So again, there are some of the changes, some of the things which are actually uh, positively impacting. The investors profile has also been substantially enhanced into this. So earlier in SME IPO, there were no institutionals, no anchor investors. But in last 1 decade, if you look at the number from 14 AIF in 2013 to around 1300 AIF has been floated in 2023. So AIF are basically alternate investment funds, those who invest. So there are large family offices, small family offices who set up their base to invest dedicatedly to SME IPO, part of anchor investor. They also enjoy QIB status. And apart from that, stock exchanges are also very gung ho about this segment, and that's why from T plus 7 to now T plus 3, and now they are so much aggressive to allow the company to grow. So the if we talk about in broad terms, everywhere the compound agents are catalyzing together, which is ultimately creating the positive ecosystem for entrepreneurs. These are some of the applicable laws which are part of IPOs, like SEBI. So definitely SEBI does the approvals are not from SEBI, but the laws are applied. In the same way, Company Act 2013 comes into the picture. The for merchant bankers like us, SEBI Regulation 1992 is there. So these all are the applicable laws for SME IPO. There are some of the intermediaries like who are BRLM or merchant bankers. Registrar to the issue is there. There are syndicate bank. There are underwriters. So lead banker predominantly underwrites the whole transaction. Then there are stock exchanges. Chartered accountant has a very good opportunity here because a listed company only peer reviewed chartered accountant. So we can understand 845 companies has got listed. So 845 companies got reinstated their account as per Ind AS. So that's one of the big opportunity for the chartered accountant. Then there are legal counsels and valuers who value the organization. This is our dynamic team, and this is recently we got one company listed from Rajkot, SN Specialty, which was one of the big size of IPO. Around 70 crore we raised for them. It was one of the successful IPO uh, in SME ecosystem. These all are our some of the noted clients. GYR has always been in news. We enjoy some good market share in terms of SME IPO. So this year we have around 6 to 7% of market share in terms of raising capital for our clients. So this is ultimately about SME IPO and how this segment is growing leaps and bounds and playing a very crucial role in forming an economy. Thank you so much. Thank you so much for giving an opportunity to highlight about Indian economy and SMEs. Thank you.
Thank you so much, CA Abhishek Sharma, for deliberating on the economy, Indian economy, and the IPOs for the MSMEs. You wonderfully took us through the Indian economy by manner of the Triveni Sangam, as well as deliberating on the problems faced by the Indian MSMEs, and how you people are trying to reach out and help out, taking the country to newer heights. So thank you so much on behalf of the CP committee of ICI. I extend you a vote of thanks for sharing your knowledge and experience with our viewers. Just to share and add on, we are having a total of 330 plus participants, who could get good knowledge from your session. So thank you so much. And uh, Ajit sir.
Yeah, thank you, Abhishek ji. Such a wonderful session. I
Thank
would
you
like
so
to
much.
inform we got a very good response, over this chat board. We have the facility. So this is a very, wonderful session with a, lot of knowledge, I can tell you. So, sir, now we are proceeding with the session. Meanwhile, we would request to Mr. Ashok from technical team if you are ready with the glow pack video.
Yeah.
Ah,
This is taking time, I guess.
Vice Chairman sir is joining, ma'am. Hemadi.
So can we proceed in the meantime and then play this video?
Yeah, yeah, of course, of course. Basically, I think Mr. Ashok, I think there is some error in playing this video. Correct. So next time, be prepared. Of course, that should not happen anyway. Mr. Stay, may I request you if you could try from your computer?
Let me give it a try.
So meanwhile, Hemadi, I would request to please proceed with the proceeding. That's for the next session.
Has Mr. Vice Chairman sir joined the program?
Basically, we can see in Zoom. I think right now, till now, he is not joined. So Karthik ji, means what I would request, meanwhile that vice chairman, chairman sir, they are joining. We may start because that participants are there live.
Okay, so we start with the second session.
We will start second session, and
Okay.
meanwhile, if they are joining at any point of time, we can stop and a brief introduction, very brief introduction, and their word of wisdom for a few.
Fine.
Okay.
So, taking you on to the second session for the day, it gives me immense pleasure to introduce CA Karthik Jindal. He is one of the top scorer in financial reporting CA final examination with an AIR of 9. He has delivered more than 200 seminars and webinars on various platforms across India and also regularly conducting the workshops and seminars on Ind AS as a speaker. He has been mentoring CA students as well to help them clear the examinations. So I invite our esteemed speaker for the day, CA Karthik Jindal, for deliberation on this session. Over to you, Karthik.
Thank you, ma'am. Is I audible, ma'am?
Yeah.
Yeah, sure. So first of all, I would like to thank the CP committee of the ICI for giving me this wonderful opportunity to interact with all the respected members and the secretary of the committee, sir, सामने बैठे हैं अजीत sir and ma'am Hima ma'am and the respected chairman of the committee, Khandelwal sir, and vice chairman of the committee, Gyanchand sir, for giving this wonderful opportunity. And also thanks to the audience, which are live respected members, for giving their time. My topic is very interesting, respected members. My topic is global opportunities, the ocean of opportunity of NDS with its applicability and come history. Now my main system is that accounting standard is the mother of all standard, but we are deviating from the standard. We need to, so I welcome respected vice chairman sir Gyanchand Mishra sir here.
Started now.
Welcome,
Yes,
sir.
Thank you, Aditi. Session is started.
Yes, sir. Second session started, sir. So just I would request, because session, just initially we have started, sir. So we request your word of wisdom, because participants, they are also waiting.
Yes, sir.
So we have requested them.
Chairman sir is joining us.
Sir, probably he is joining, sir. We are not able to connect right now.
Okay.
Anyway, we got the message. So, sir, we would like to invite you for your word of wisdom, sir.
So I'll not take much time. I just congratulate to Ajit ji for organizing wonderful program with two wonderful speakers, Abhishek ji and Kartik ji, on overview of ecosystem of SME, and of course the next one, very importantly, India's ocean of opportunities. Friends, we all know that CPE committee is organizing program on every Wednesday, 2 hours unstructured program on different topics, and these topics are always very useful for the members. Friends, the session has started. I will not take much time. I just want to convey one thing, that learning is the only way to update ourselves, and this is the only way to deliver our best to the profession at large and to the society and globe. And I'm sure that these sessions are going to be very fruitful in your professional learning. And congratulations and compliment to the secretary for organizing wonderful programs. Keep in touch and be speaker, moderator, and of course, contributor to the committee in whatever way you like. Paper writer, you can give your articles and keep in touch with the committee. So thank you, Ajit ji. I'll not take much time. Please continue with the session. I am also traveling. I am just stopped somewhere to interact with the members. So my congratulations and compliment to you. And thanks to both the speakers for the valued time.
Thank you so much, sir.
Thank you very much, sir,
and Rima madam for your moderation. Thank you, sir.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you. So Kartik ji, you may please continue.
ज्ञान जी मेरे ख्याल से वहां सीपी में थे अभी. Thank you, sir. Thank you. So let's start. So again, I welcome all the respected members, esteemed chairmen and vice chairmen of the committees, respected secretary, हमारे सामने बैठे हैं तिवारी sir, and all the respected members again, and my co-speaker Abhishek sir, and welcome, sir. So the topic is India's ocean of opportunities with its applicability come history. This topic is very important for the chartered accountant respected members. Why I'm saying that? I'm just giving a 1 hour and I will be taking my best so that I can explain you the ocean of opportunities, the global opportunities in the Indias. Accounting standard is the mother of all standard, but we are deviating from the standards. We need to ensure that we are actually a chartered accountant. We are not a accountant, sir. I welcome again the chairman of the CP committee, Purushottam Khandelwal, sir. Welcome, Purushottam, sir.
Thank you so much.
Meeting so second time after Nagpur.
Kartik ji.
Yes, sir.
Sir, the first session is over, sir. First session
Yes, Abhishek bhai.
Hello, sir.
ज्ञान सर ने सर अभी ज्वाइन किया था वाइस चेयरमैन सर ने.
Okay.
So in fact, we all were waiting for your word of wisdom, sir.
4 o'clock. I am exactly joined 4 o'clock.
जी सर. एक्चुअली पहला सेशन थोड़ा सा हमारा अर्ली क्लोज हो गया था.
अर्ली क्लोज हो गया था. ओके, अभिषेक जी ने जल्दी कर दिया था क्या?
जी.
अभिषेक जी आईपीओ लाने में लगे हुए हैं. यस.
Thank you, sir.
So sir, we request you, sir, to say a few words for the participants who have joined all from all across country and globe, sir.
Yes.
Chairman, sir.
Yes. The respected faculties for the first technical session, Abhishek Sharma ji. Second technical Kartik Jindalji, moderator Hemaben, secretary of the CP committee Ajit Naji Tiwari, and respected participants. It gives me pleasure to address you, CP committee, the most vibrant committee and parent committee of all the committees. The purpose of CP committee to upgrade the knowledge of members to perform the best way. And this year, my committee has done a wonderful job with the help of Vice Chairman Gyan Mishra ji. Before few days, we have came with one guidelines for those members who are not serious to complete their CP hours. So the first, we have decided the first year you are not doing a CP hour completed, then the first chance will given to do the balance CP with double. Suppose first year the CP hours has to be structured CP is hour to be 20 hours, and if you are completed 18 CP hours, so next time you have to do the 4 CP double CP. Thereafter, even though they are regularly willful defaulter, then we will display the information in their SSP portal, UDN portal, that you have not completed your CP hours. Even though thereafter they are still willful defaulter, we will send their names to the PD committee for taking a further action, that in the MEF forms, it will display that you have not completed CP hours. And even though there is still defaulter, the peer review certificate will be not issued. We will issue the temporary peer review certificates, and we will issue the final certificate only after the completion of peer review of the completion of the structured CP of all the partners. Still defaulter, we will send to the disciplinary committee. So this mechanism we have designed, and we are coming with the guidance for the members, and thereafter we will implement. So still under the consideration. This year we have already started to inform all the members that this much CPF you have completed and still pending. So before doing any consequential action, first of all, we will inform them through mail, SMS, and any other modes. So they will get the enough chance to complete their CP. This year, CP committee is also coming with the technical part that your attendance will be marked by OTP base. If you are attending the CP programs, I'm not saying about the biometrics. We fully rely on the members that they are attending, but reduce the burden of the program organizing unit. So they have not to take a physical sign and thereafter upload. But as soon you register with the programs, and if you are a registered participant, you will get the OTP, and we will real-time update your CP programs. So this is our emphasis. I will not take much of time because the Kartik Jindalji is here to address you. Very young and dynamic, both the faculty. Always smile. Thank you so much, Ajit Bhai, for giving me an opportunity. All the best.
Thank you.
Thank you,
sir.
So the session was already started, sir. So I would request CA Karthik to please take over and continue.
Yeah, thank you, ma'am. Thank you. So,
Thank you for your kind words, Purushottam ji.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
So I again welcome respected chairman sir Khandelwal sir, and I also appreciate the ICI, the CP committee, as like Khandelwal sir, the CP committee is the main committee of all the committees to attend.
Just to interrupt a bit, CA Karthik, I'm very happy to inform that we are having more than 460 participants, enriching from a session.
Great, ma'am. Thank you, ma'am. Thank you. So Let's start a session. So my topic is ocean of opportunities of NDS with the applicability come history. NDS is very important for the chartered accountants who are doing the practice as it is has a very big scope. Accounting standards is the accounting standard is the mother of all standard, but we are deviating from the standard. We need to ensure that we are actually a chartered accountant, we are not a accountant. We need to update ourselves. Sir, अगर update नहीं होंगे काम नहीं चलेगा sir. We need to update ourselves. As we are a chartered accountant, we are not a accountant, and accounting standard, again I'm again and again saying, it's a mother of all standard. Now our honorable ICI past says here that audit is a serious business. It's involved with a lot of responsibilities, and if we cannot meet the expectation gap, don't do the audit. When I'm talking about the NDS, sir, NDS is not like as an accounting standard. Sir, why NDS come? Let me showing you a very small example. My screen is visible, ma'am. My screen, ma'am. My screen.
Yeah, it's visible. It's visible.
Yeah. So, respected members, this is the balance sheet of a company, of a listed company at the year ended 14-15. This financial statement is based on the accounting standard. This financial statement is based on the accounting standard. Have a look. Have a look. Equities and liabilities, shareholder fund, share capital, reserve and surplus. The main important fact is that the financial statement are rounded off rupees in lakh. This financial statement is based on the accounting standard. सर ये एएस के अंदर बनी है, ये इंडियस में नहीं बनी. Shareholder fund, share capital. Just look at the financial statement as normal financial statement. हम जो हमारे काम में बनती है. Non-current liability, long-term borrowing, deferred tax liability, current liability, asset, non-current asset, fixed asset, capital work in progress, non-current investment, and again, this is the total of the financial statement. This is the balance sheet of a very big listed company. Actual financial statement as per AS. Now, sir, you may see the year is 31st March 2015 and comparative 31st March 2014. Again, the same company in the next year, sir. The same company in the next year when they apply Indian accounting standard, NDS for the first time, sir. And I am telling you one fact, NDS is the future of the CA profession, sir. Why I am saying that, I will be definitely be, ये मैं बात आपसे definitely आगे बात करूंगा, but I am saying that Indian accounting standard, NDS is the future of the CA profession, sir. Let me see you that this financial statement as at 31st March 2016, ये sir NDS में बनी है, आप देखिए sir, please have a look. Can you please identify in your mind? And सर मैं आपकी चैट नहीं सुन सकता, बट आप फिर भी अपने मन में सोच सकते हैं, सर व्हाट आर द डिफरेंसेस बिटवीन लास्ट ईयर and this year when the financial statement are prepared on NDS basis. The first major change is that format is changed. First change, the format is already changed. We have seen the non-current asset upper side, and in the AS balance sheet we have the liability upper side. Second major change, sir. Second major change is that, let me telling you the asset side. Go to the asset side. So the major change is the introduction of the heading to the financial asset, introduction of the new Indian accounting standard, NDS 32, NDS 109 and NDS 107, which is not there in the accounting standard. This is the new heading. ये पहले अकाउंटिंग स्टैंडर्ड में सर नहीं था, ये एनडीएस में आ गया. अब सर व्हाट इज फाइनेंशियल असेट? टेल मी वन क्वेश्चन सर. दिस फॉर्मेट इज फिक्स, and if you don't know about what is my financial asset, how can you prepare the financial statement of an NDS compliant company? It's next to impossible, sir. ये असंभव है सर, आप नहीं बना पाओगे सर। नेक्स्ट मेजर डिफरेंस इज द again financial asset. Again a major difference is introduction of the heading of the financial asset. Another difference is the other equity. In accounting standard we have reserve and surplus, but now in India we have a other equity. One major most important change, read that wording sir, this is AS balance sheet, read that wording. It is only share capital, it is only share capital, but in India this is equity share capital. In India we have sir equity share capital. Sir, why equity share capital? In accounting standard, whether sir in accounting standard whether we issue equity share और हम चाहे हमने इक्विटी इशू किया है चाहे हमने प्रेफरेंस शेयर इशू किए हैं, इट इज द पार्ट ऑफ अवर शेयर कैपिटल. लेकिन सर लेट्स वेट अ मोमेंट, बट इन इंडिया अगर इक्विटी शेयर इशू किए हैं देन इट्स माय पार्ट ऑफ द इक्विटी शेयर कैपिटल. बट सर इफ माय इंडिया कंप्लाइंट कंपनी हैज issued preference share, then sir you might be shocking about the one fact that it may become the liability of the company. Sir, what are you talking about sir? Yes, I am talking about the correct. In Indian accounting standard, if the company has issued the preference share capital, then it can become the liability of the company, it can become the obligation of the company, or it may be become the equity of the company, or it may be became the part of equity come liability. Sir, this is the change in the NDS. If we issue debentures in the accounting standard, then debenture is the part of liability every time. But remember in India, if we issue debenture, sir, it may become part of the equity from the day one. We are issuing debenture in the Indias, but it may become the part of our equity from the day one, sir. It can possible in only in Indian accounting standard, not in the accounting standard. Knowledge is very important for the India, sir. Knowledge is very, very important as the economics is every day growing. Our institution has made a vibrant efforts to know you understand about Indias. And other major last difference which will shake your mind, sir. Let me go into one fact. This is fixed assets, right, sir? This is fixed asset, right? Right. Amount is on the 31st March 2014, sir. 31 March 2014 को amount कितना है sir? 352,604.65. 352,604.65 rupees in lakhs of the fixed asset. When as on 31st March 2014, sir, we are moving forward to the next year for the same company, and we are going to the property plant equipment. As we all know, that definition has been changed. Sir, fixed asset का use नहीं करना. अगर आप AS follow कर रहे हो और you are using the word fixed asset in any of your balance sheet, it doesn't matter whether it is your CA firm, any trust, any society, any company, any partnership firm, anything. If you are using the word fixed asset, it is a huge blunder, because as per accounting standard 10, fixed asset standard is changed. सर 7 साल पहले वो स्टैंडर्ड चेंज हो गया है, बट सर हम आज भी फिक्स असेट का यूज कर रहे हैं. यस या नो मेंबर? आई नो यस. Sir, it's a property plant equipment. I am going forward to the 31st March 14. Now see, sir, this value 1st April 14. The value comes to 530,099.59, sir. 530,099.59. Whereas in same year, same date, just only one day difference, the value is 352,604.65. Now tell me, sir, There is any difference between the accounting standard and the Indian accounting standard? It's a major difference. It's a major difference. It's like a day and night. It's like a sun and the moon. There is no comparison between accounting standards and the India's. This is only my request. And it has immense opportunity. For example, why we need to learn NDS? Number one opportunity. Within 2 to 3 years, sir, believe me, sir, within 2 to 3 years, all the insurance company in India will require to comply with the NDS compulsory, sir. Number one. Number two, why we need to study India? Second reason is that all the banking institution in the India are converging to the NDS within 2 to 3 years, sir. Within 2 to 3 years, we do बैंक ऑडिट, सर हम सब बैंक ऑडिट करते हैं सर. Yes sir, yes. And as we all know, the bank audits, we do audit on the basis of the accounting standard. But you sir miss one fact. You can ask your bank manager that all the information they are submitted to the bank is on the basis of the NDS, not on the basis of the accounting standard as per the requirement of the Reserve Bank of India. RBI want data of the banks on the basis of NDS also. So they are already complying with the NDS before 3 to 4 years. Third, all the ASMC, asset management mutual fund companies, are compulsory required to compile their financial statement on the basis of NDS as on 1st April 2023. सर जितने भी ACMC कंपनीज हैं हमारे पास, जितने म्यूचुअल फंड हैं, सबके लिए सर 1st April 2023 से कंपल्सरी NDS इज एप्लीकेबल फ्रॉम द 1st April 2023. The major shocking fact is that all the existing accounting standard, I am talking about AS, not NDS. Sir, AS की बात कर लेते हैं. चलो यहाँ पे a simple question to all the members. How many accounting standards are there as on 1st November 2023 4 PM? बताओ sir, how many accounting standards are there? Chat box में लिख के बताओ sir. If you are able to hear me, sir, just frank on the mind and let me ask you question. How many accounting standards are there as on date, sir? I am only 27 accounting standards are there as on the date. And how many NDS are there? Sir, 39 NDS are there. आप नहीं NDS पढ़ोगे सर, मेरा काम है आपको समझाना. Why I am saying that, sir? मैं क्यों बोल रहा हूं? Why इसलिए बोल रहा हूं सर? Because all the existing accounting standard, we have 27 accounting standard. All the accounting standard within 2 years shall be scrapped. वो scrap हो जाएंगे and new accounting standard will come. The exposure draft is already finalized with the ASB board of the ICAI, and you will be happy to know that within 2 years all the existing AS will be converted to the new accounting standard, and that new accounting standard is absolutely on the basis of the NDS, just like a cut copy paste. Sir, for example, accounting standard 10, आज से 7 साल पहले क्या नाम था सर? अकाउंटिंग फॉर फिक्स असेट, राइट सर? अकाउंटिंग फॉर फिक्स असेट. उसके साथ एक और था AS6, अकाउंटिंग फॉर डिप्रीशिएशन, on 30th March 2016. Sir, please remember the date. On 30th March 2016, the Ministry of Corporate Affairs has scrapped the accounting standard 6. Accounting standard 6 को withdraw कर लिया गया, and they have made amendment in the accounting standard 10. उसका नाम चेंज कर दिया. The new name is property, plant and equipment, and that standard is 100% cut copy paste of NDS 16. This is the first sign about 7 years back that then we need to understand that we are converting into standard. Sir, without standard, can you able to do tax audit? Just one question, sir. You talk about opportunity, I am talking about that. Without standard तो काम हो ही नहीं सकता सर. can you able to file ITR? सर ITR नहीं फाइल कर पाओगे क्योंकि द फाइनेंशियल स्टेटमेंट जो आपको 2-3 साल के बाद अवेलेबल होंगी, दे आर ऑल बेस्ड ऑन द अकाउंटिंग, दे आर ऑल बेस्ड ऑन द इंडियस. After 2 to 3 years, sir, all the financial statement which you will sign, they are totally based on the principle of the INDAS. And we all know that while computing the income tax, we need to follow the PGB, we need to follow the PGBP. हम क्या करते हैं, प्रॉफिट लेते हैं, प्रॉफिट बिफोर टैक्स. सर एडजस्टमेंट कैसे करोगे सर, वो तो एज पर इंडियस है ना सर. इफ दैट एडजस्टमेंट कांट बी अंडरस्टैंड दैट सर, हमें नॉलेज नहीं है, हम कंपुटेशन नहीं कर पाएंगे सर, हम टैक्स ऑडिट नहीं कर पाएंगे. इफ यू आर डूइंग वैल्यूएशन, यू कैन नॉट डू वैल्यूएशन विदाउट इंडियस. इफ यू डू IBC, you cannot do proper insolvency bankruptcy resolution without the proper understanding of the INDAS. And if you are doing the conversion work, you are missing the opportunity of the conversion work. Sir, you know, 5 lakh rupees is the fees just to convert the financial statement from the accounting standard to INDAS. 5 lakh rupees, sir. Understood or not, sir? You can see my feelings, sir. In India, sir, we will see the exotic changes within 2 to 3 years. Sir, government is very serious. As we all know, NAFRA is activated. National Financial Reporting Authority is activated. Institute Disciplinary Committee is activated. FRRB board, Financial Reporting Review Board is activated. Quality Review Board is activated. Council is serious. And sir, to be very honest, we are at the high peak of the non-compliance. As per the recent reports received from the RBI, NAFRA, ICAI, we are doing very blunder non-compliance in the majorly the part of the standard, that is the accounting standard. We know the tax audit, but sir, frankly speaking, we are not the tax consultant, sir. Actually, the institute role is doing the proper auditing and doing the proper accounting. Many members say, sir, that auditing is a end business. खत्म हो जाएगा audit. Sir, listen to me. I am vouching the fact. Audit is a never ending last opportunity. Audit हमेशा opportunity पहले भी थी, आज भी है और आगे भी रहेगी. You know, many of the CA firm are getting interested, they are taking auditing. क्योंकि सर कुछ टाइम बाद क्या होगा, जो आपका क्लाइंट है, they will come to you, they will say to you, sir, please do my audit, sir, please do my audit, I will pay you what you want, what your fees. But sir, we need to update, sir. We need to operate. We need to update. I seriously request with a hand-folded hand, we need to learn standard. It has an immense future, immense bright things as we doing the practice. Let me say you the harsh fact. The newly qualified chartered accountant who are in the job, if they hearing me, they will able to reconnect with me. Without the knowledge of the Indians, they can't do job in the corporate sector. In every job interview, one question is only asked, have you know about NDS? Have you know about NDS? Yes, we know about NDS. So this is the loss of opportunity which I'm telling about. Let's go to the history of the standard. अभी तक समझ आया sir? Is you able to hear what I'm trying to say? Let's go to the history of the standard. Sir, why we need NDS? Why we need NDS? Okay. You know, one more important fact, that why our Indian chartered accountant is called as a global chartered accountant. आपने कभी सोचा कि वो यार ओनली हमने सर हिंदुस्तान की सीए की है हमें, लेकिन ये क्यों हमें आजकल ये क्यों बोला जा रहा है कि वी आर नॉट अ इंडियन सीए, वी आर एक्सेप्टेड ग्लोबली? I will tell you, just wait a minute. But this is fact that our Indian chartered accountant is accepted all over the world. The reason is only NDS. The reason is only NDS. Okay. So the history of the standard is that we have existing the accounting standard which are issued under Accounting Standard Rule 2006. Then we have an amendment in the accounting standard rule 2006 also. The new standard in comes in the 2021 on the company accounting standard rule 2021. हमारे पास AS है. इंडियस हिंदुस्तान में आया सर 16 Feb 2015. This is the date of the Indias which comes in India for the first time in the official gazette. When 16 February 2015 is the date. Sir, we all know the GST day, 1st July 2017. But sir, why we don't know the India's day? India's day in India is 16 February 2015. ऑन द डेट स्टैंडर्ड इज कम सर. बट हमें रिक्वायरमेंट क्या है सर? हमें जरूरत क्या है स्टैंडर्ड्स की सर? इंडियस की. हमारे पास एएस है ना सर, हमें जरूरत क्या है? व्हाई वी रिक्वायर इंडियस? द सिंपल आंसर इज every country want to be the superpower. Yes or no? Yes sir, we want to become the superpower. If we increase the GDP of the country, we depending upon the FDI, foreign direct investment, right Abhishek sir? FDI is very very important for any country to become develop. We need FDI, foreign direct investment. Now the main question is that where does FDI come from? FDI कहां से आएगा सर? FDI आएगा बाहर से. They will come from on the foreign money comes into the India. Sir, to be very obvious fact, अगर FDI आएगा तो सर वो कोई ना कोई तो कंपनी में होगा ही इन्वेस्टमेंट, होगा नहीं. बट एक बात है सर, we are hearing the word gap. Gap का means generally acceptable accounting principle, right? Yes or no sir? Gap, generally accounting acceptable principle. Every country has its own gap. I'm talking about 40 to 50 years back. I'm talking about 30 to 40 years back. Just like every company is having their own income tax act 1961 in India, Dubai different act, Australia different income tax act, New Zealand different income tax act, Sri Lanka different income tax act, Bangladesh different income tax act. Just like GST, goods and service tax, indirect tax, just like the different taxes, different act are different of every country. Just like same as the standard gap, generally acceptable accounting principle. सर जैसे हमारा इंडियन गैप है, आई गैप बोलते हैं, वैसे ही ऑस्ट्रेलिया का ऑस्ट्रेलियन गैप होगा, श्रीलंका का श्रीलंका गैप होगा, कनाडा का कनाडा गैप होगा, सिंगापुर का सिंगापुर गैप होगा, राइट सर? एंड ऑल द गैप्स आर डिफरेंट सर. जो गैप के अंदर मेरी कंट्री के अपने रूल्स हैं, मेरी कंट्री की अपनी पॉलिसीज हैं, मेरी कंट्री के अपने अपने प्रिंसिपल्स हैं. जस्ट लाइक सर, इफ वी हैव अ इंडियन गैप, द ऑस्ट्रेलियन हैव ऑस्ट्रेलियन गैप, एंड द मेन डिफरेंस इज दैट both the gaps are not similar. They are not similar on the basis of the accounting policy. They are not similar on the basis of the recognition principle. They are not similar on the basis of the formats. They are not similar on the basis of the disclosure. They are not similar in any kind of that. Every country has its own act. Great. Now let's assume the fact, sir, an Australian people, an Australian investor want to invest in the land of dreams, India, superpower India. They want to invest in India about 30 years back. What they will do first thing, sir? So they will do the inspection that is it the India is a good opportunity? Is my money safe? All the things they are inspected. But when one thing which comes the investor mind is the financial statement of that company in which they will invest. Right or wrong, sir? मन से बताना सर, मन से बताना, राइट और नॉट सर? डेफिनेटली अगर आप भी होते तो आप भी क्या करते? फाइनेंशियल स्टेटमेंट देखते. आप शेयर मार्केट में पैसा कौन कौन लगाता है सर? हु विल इन्वेस्ट इन द शेयर मार्केट? सर आईपीओ लेके आते हैं अभिषेक सर. अभिषेक सर is into the IPOs. Respected member, you may need to think one fact. If any company is doing on the listing process, if any company is doing on the process of listing, they compulsory need to submit their financial statement of 3 years to the सिक्योरिटीज एंड एक्सचेंज बोर्ड ऑफ इंडिया। अब आपको सर पैसा लगाना है सर इंडिया के अंदर, यू विल सी द फाइनेंशियल स्टेटमेंट सर। यस, आपके सामने फाइनेंशियल स्टेटमेंट पड़ी है सर। लो सर, फाइनेंशियल स्टेटमेंट आपके सामने है, इसको रीड करो। आपने खोली सर, यू ओपन द फाइनेंशियल स्टेटमेंट, but sir by chance you may not able to read and understand the financial statement because I know the Australian gap। सर मैं ऑस्ट्रेलिया का हूं, मुझे सिर्फ ऑस्ट्रेलियन गैप पता है, मुझे इंडियन गैप नहीं पता। एंड द फाइनेंशियल स्टेटमेंट आर देयर ऑन द इंडियन गैप। सो कंफ्यूजन अराइज, कंफ्यूजन अराइज, कंफ्यूजन अराइज हुई तो ऑस्ट्रेलिया वाले ने कंसल्टेंट को हायर कर लिया इंडिया से। मान लो आप कंसल्टेंट थे, आपको हायर कर लिया कि सर प्लीज अपना ओपिनियन बताएं कि फाइनेंशियल स्टेटमेंट ठीक है या नहीं है, वेदर कंपनी हैज एडुकेट डिस्क्लोजर, क्या ईएसजी रिक्वायरमेंट है, क्या सस्टेनेबिलिटी है। उसने आपको हायर कर लिया, आपने उससे फीस ले ली, बात खत्म। दे आर इन्वेस्टिंग। सपोज सर द सेम ऑस्ट्रेलियन वन दे लाइक टू इन्वेस्ट इन द यूके, दे लाइक टू इन्वेस्ट इन द यूके। सर ये इसी काम में लगा रह गया सर, पहले उसके पढ़ो, उसके रिसर्च करो, उसके करो, उसके करो। सर फ्री फ्लो नहीं था सर, फ्री फ्लो ऑफ मनी ट्रांसफर नहीं था। देयर इज अ हिंड्रेंस इन द फ्री फ्लो मनी ट्रांसफर ड्यू टू लैक ऑफ accountability of every country, because every country has its own principle, has its own rule. Then in 1973, sir, I'm talking about exact 50 years back, 1973, one organization named IASC, International Accounting Standard Committee, IASC, International Accounting Standard क्या committee formed to make global accepted standard। उस कमिटी ने डिसाइड किया कि आई विल मेक द globally accepted accounting standards which will accepted globally। उसने स्टार्ट किया। आज 1973 में कौन सी कमेटी बनी सर? IASC। उसका 2001 में नाम चेंज कर दिया, नाम रख दिया IASB, जो आज तक बनी हुई है इंटरनेशनल अकाउंटिंग स्टैंडर्ड बोर्ड, IASB। उसने बनाए सर IFRS। IASB issued IFRS, इंटरनेशनल फाइनेंशियल रिपोर्टिंग स्टैंडर्ड। आपने ये वर्ड हियर डेफिनेटली लाइफ में आया गया होगा, IFRS, IFRS, इंडियस। They make IFRS standard. The IFRS standard is globally accepted standard. Now, वो बोर्ड किसी एक कंट्री का नहीं है सर। द बोर्ड इज एन इंडिपेंडेंट ऑफ ऑल द कंट्री एग्जीक्यूटिव। हर कंट्री का अपना अपना उस बोर्ड के अंदर रिप्रेजेंटेशन है, इंडिया का भी है। इंडिया में स्टार्ट हुआ 90s के अंदर, व्हेन द डॉक्टर मनमोहन सिंह दे केम विद द स्कीम ऑफ LPG, L for liberalization, P for privatization, and G for globalization। They want that our Indian economy to be globally accepted। They open the doors and they starting and they send they send Indian representative to the IASC on that time to work on the IFRS। सर IFRS हमारे पास आ गए। आई एम टेलिंग यू द ब्रीफ हिस्ट्री एग्जैक्टली सर, क्योंकि जब तक हिस्ट्री नहीं पता, अपॉर्चुनिटी नहीं पता, हमारा इच्छा नहीं करेगी इसको पढ़ने की सर। सॉरी, IFRS बन गए सर। अब IFRS वालों ने दो ऑप्शन दिए, दे हैव गिवन टू ऑप्शन टू एवरी कंट्री। द बोर्ड हैज टू ऑप्शन टू एवरी कंट्री। वन ऑप्शन, आइदर टू अडोप्ट द स्टैंडर्ड सेम टू सेम, कि सर हमने ये IFRS बनाए हैं, आप अपनी कंट्री के अंदर इसको एक्सेप्ट कर लो एज इट इज। सेकेंड, they knew that if every country started accepting the standard same to same, then there will be lot of trouble for the countries, because the countries has its own economic environment, every country has its different jurisdiction, every country has its different tax practices। So they opened an option to the each of the countries. See, we are making the IFRS standards. You have two options. You have three options, not two, three options. Either to accept the standard, adopt as it is, either to converge the standard. Converge मतलब कुछ एक चेंजेस के साथ इसको एक्सेप्ट कर लो अपने नाम से. थर्ड, डू नॉट एक्सेप्ट. थर्ड का ऑप्शन कि हम आप कंट्री एक्सेप्ट नहीं कर रही, आप अपना गैप लगा रहे हो, बात खत्म. यू नो यू नो इंडिया हैज नॉट अडोप्टेड द IFRS स्टैंडर्ड. हमने अडोप्ट नहीं किया, हमने कन्वर्ज किया है. दैट्स व्हाई इंडिया नोन, दैट्स व्हाई इंडिया को हम क्या बोलते हैं? इंडिया इज द कन्वर्ज स्टैंडर्ड्स फ्रॉम द IFRS. इंडिया हैज कन्वर्ज, so like many countries. Okay, sir. So now tell me one factor that India's कहां से बने? India's बने IFRS से. सर मेन सोर्स कौन है? मेन सोर्स IFRS है सर. मेन सोर्स कौन है? IFRS, इंटरनेशनल फाइनेंशियल रिपोर्टिंग स्टैंडर्ड. हमने उसी से ही इंडियस बनाए हैं. बट वी आर नॉट अडॉप्टेड एग्जैक्टली, वी आर कन्वर्ज फ्रॉम द स्टैंडर्ड. देयर इज सम कार्व आउट्स. कार्व आउट का मतलब है कुछ डिफरेंसेस हैं. नाउ आई एम आस्किंग यू द क्वेश्चन, वन सिंपल क्वेश्चन, दैट हाउ मेनी परसेंट ऑफ इंडिया इज सेम बिटवीन द IFRS. कितना परसेंट इंडिया सिमिलर है IFRS के साथ? 100% तो है ही नहीं सर. अगर 100% सेम होता हम इसको अडोप्ट बोल देते, बट हमने अडोप्ट तो किया नहीं है. वी हैव नॉट अडोप्टेड, वी कन्वर्ज फ्रॉम द स्टैंडर्ड सर. वी कन्वर्ज फ्रॉम द स्टैंडर्ड. We converge, that's why we are taking the Indian accounting standard. If we converge, we need to adopt IFRS exactly, but we not adopt, we converge. Simple question, how many percent of India's and IFRS is same? Any guesses in your mind? 0%, 1%, 5% is same, 95% is not same, 20%, 30%, 50%, 70%. Any guesses, members? Sir, please listen carefully. 99.99% of the standard is exactly same. India's and IFRS is exactly 99.99% same. सर फर्क नहीं है कुछ भी. सर बिल्कुल सेम है. अगर इफ यू लर्न इंडियस, अगर आपने इंडियस को समझ लिया, पढ़ लिया, सीख लिया, that means you automatically learned IFRS standard, because 99.99% India's is exactly similar between the IFRS. Another shocking thing, do you know how many countries, respected members, honorable members, how many countries has actually been implementing IFRS or converge with IFRS as till now date? कितनी कंट्रीज फॉलो कर रही हैं सर IFRS स्टैंडर्ड्स को एज देयर बेसिस? कैन यू प्लीज थिंक अबाउट दैट? 2%, 5%, 10%, 15%. Can you please think about that, sir? Sir, total number of 167 countries, sir. Exactly, sir. 167 countries in the world has been adopted IFRS standard, has been adopted IFRS standard, sir. Which means automatically, sir, if you learn India's, respected members, you automatically learn IFRS. And if you automatically learn IFRS, you can learn 167 countries financial reporting. एक एक्ट पढ़ लो इंडिया सर, आपको एक एक्ट पढ़ना है इंडिया. If you learn India, you will learn whole world financial reporting. Sorry. क्या कोई ऐसा एक्ट है जो आपको किसी पूरे, आप एक एक्ट पढ़ो जो पूरे वर्ल्ड की आपको सिखा दे? नहीं सर, इट्स ओनली इंडियस. इफ यू लर्न इंडियस, you learn 167 countries financial reporting, accounting policy same, disclosure same, recognition principle same, estimation same. In India, you are sitting at a very zonal level. In online, you have many works. सर आपको पता है सिंगापुर का सारा काम इंडियन चार्टर्ड अकाउंटेंसी फर्म कर रही है. कनाडा का, इंडोनेशिया का, ऑस्ट्रेलिया का, ऑस्ट्रिया का, बर्लिन का, श्रीलंका का, बांग्लादेश का, नेपाल का, दुबई का, totally work are doing by the chartered accountancy firm sitting in India online remotely. You don't need to travel to outside country. You just need to learn the standard to enrich your knowledge, sir, enrich your knowledge. Recently, you know very well, UAE has passed the corporate tax laws. Yes, sir, they will be applicable from 1st June 2023. They have made compulsory that the companies which are making their tax file in the country, they make their statement according to the IFRS, International Financial Reporting Standards, sir. And if you learn NDS, you know better, sir, how to make the financial statement of IFRS, how to compare the financial statement of IFRS. I'm not talking about any other one. I'm sitting remotely in the Jakhal, Haryana. I'm doing the work of the Singapore, UAE, Dubai, Austria, Indonesia, just sitting in the remotely. And now, sir, Indian context economic is also changed. Many of the entities are voluntarily going to converge from the accounting standard to NDS as their main base for their financial statements. So they are converting, they are changing their base to the financial statement of the NDS. Right, sir? Hopefully, sir, you understand about the history, about the immense growth you are taking the flight to catching about the knowing of the standard. There are many things to come. Next thing, India में India's आ गया. You know, they are initially we got to apply the standard from the 2011. Why? You know, G20. So the G20 meet is recently conducted successfully in India, Delhi 2023. So you know one thing. The declaration of the G20 meets is very valuable for all the G20 countries. In 2009, when the G20 meet was held on the Pittsburgh, USA, all the G20 countries are agreed to adopt the IFRS. They are agreed to implement the IFRS. If you are not believing that, let's see this declaration, sir. Dekho, see. If you are visible the screen, every decision is important, and this is the historical declaration signed by the G20 countries. Pittsburgh Summit Declaration. If you going to the point number 14, if you going to the point number 14 of sustainability, you see, sir, what is the main tagline, sir? It's important to know the history very well. Strengthening the international financial regulatory system. They make the system to be robust. The main reason why we are making the standard so technically is the, sir, trust of the stakeholders. Trust is very important in every time. Many of the companies are doing the fraud. They are doing the inappropriate financial reporting practices. They are hiding the disclosure. They are hiding the fact. They are hiding their going concern. And at last, who suffer? Companies suffer. But who is the real victim? The victim is the investor. They invested their hard-earned money to the companies. The main reason, if anybody asks me that, Karthik, what is the main reason that you want to tell why we need to make a one global standard that is acceptable to all over the country, all over the world? But what is the real reason behind that? The reason behind that, respected members, is the utmost trust. And as we chartered accountant, we are living proudly. We are saying that we are nation developer. We are contribute to the nation building. Only symbol in CA is that trust, that any when financial statement signed by the chartered accountant is at most symbol of the trust, and no one in the world is there to disallowed that financial statement. So that we earned over the last 75 years of our extreme ICI histories. We need to appreciate the institute. We need to appreciate the CP committee for the continuous guidance to the members. We are obliged to the institutes. See, sir, point number 14, sir. This is the point. See, sir, this is the point highlighted in the yellow mark. This is G20 historical declaration about IFRS. As we know, if I'm talking about IFRS, India has converged with the IFRS, and the first time they come into India is 16 February 2015. But this is the 2009 G20 summit declaration, sir. We call on our international accounting bodies to redouble their efforts to achieve a single set of high quality global accounting standard within the context of their independent standard setting process and complete their convergence project by June 2021. You know, sir, इंडिया के अंदर जो रिस्पेक्टेड चार्टर्ड अकाउंटेंट 2011 से पहले सीए क्वालिफाई जिसने किया था, उनको पता होगा कि इंडिया ने भी 2011 के अंदर आईएफआरएस को कन्वर्ज करने की बात करी थी, बट ड्यू टू सम टैक्सेशन इशू, ड्यू टू सम कंट्री इश्यूज, वी deferred that project by 4 years, but finally they are applied in Indian context on 2015. The international CSR IASB, which I'm talking about, is the main basis for the standards. And when the India's come, this is the historical notification that come is the MCA, the Ministry of Corporate Affairs notification 16 February 2015. 16 फरवरी 2015 को स्टैंडर्ड्स इंट्रोड्यूस हो गए इंडिया के अंदर एज अ इंडियन अकाउंटिंग स्टैंडर्ड्स. Let me tell you the applicability is very simple applicability. That India's is applicable to all the listed companies. It doesn't matter whether their net worth is negative or positive or anything. All the listed companies are compulsory required to maintain their financial statement as per NDS. Second, unlisted company having the net worth of 250 crore or more. Unlisted companies having the नेट वर्थ ऑफ 250 करोड़ और मोर, मतलब सर 250 की लिमिट है, सेल्स की लिमिट नहीं है, ध्यान रखना सर, टर्नओवर नहीं बोला मैंने, नेट वर्थ बोला है. मेंबर्स आर कंफ्यूज, दे आर आस्किंग मी फोन कि सर कार्तिक सर कंपनी की टर्नओवर 280 करोड़ हो गई, क्या मैं इंडिया अप्लाई हो जाएगा? सर गलती से मत लगा देना, नेट वर्थ की बात बोली है. एनी अनलिस्टेड कंपनी हैविंग अ नेट वर्थ ऑफ 250 करोड़ और मोर, जिस साल ज्यादा हो गई उसके अगले साल से विद द इमीडिएट नेक्स्ट फाइनेंशियल ईयर दे कंपल्सरी रिक्वायर्ड टू मेंटेन देयर फाइनेंशियल स्टेटमेंट इन इंडिया. वन मेजर फैक्ट, इफ एनी कंपनी इन द ग्रुप, रिस्पेक्टेड मेंबर्स, if any company in the group is fall in the applicability of the NDS, compulsory applicability of the NDS, all the holding company, all the subsidiary company, all the associate company, all the joint venture company of the group shall require to maintain their financial statement as per NDS. The simple shortcut is that if India is applicable only to one company on the group, whole group is required to apply India's compulsory. Sir, मान लो sir, you applied India's because as you are listed company. Suppose sir, your company has applied India's because you are a listed company, and you know very well when you are a company, if you are a listed company, you have no option, you need to apply India's. It doesn't matter your net worth is 250 से ज्यादा या कम. फॉर एग्जाम्पल यू हैव अ नेटवर्थ ऑफ 100 करोड़, ठीक है, and you are listed company, you applied the NDS, but after 2 years your company got delisted. your company got delisted. Can you say that, sir, I am not falling in the India's applicability because I am not listed, and secondly, my net worth is not more than 250 crore. So can I go back to the old IGAP? Can I get back to the old IGAP? No, sir. If you apply Indias for one time, either voluntarily, sir, क्या मैं अपनी इच्छा से चूज कर सकता हूं Indias? बिल्कुल कर सकते हो सर. You can apply, you can adopt Indias voluntarily or mandatorily. If in any case आपकी कंडीशन बाद में फुलफिल नहीं होती या आपका मूड बदल गया क्योंकि आपने वॉलंटरली इंडियस लगाया था, यू कैन नॉट विड्रॉ, यू कैन नॉट गो बैक. दिस ऑप्शन इज इररेवोकेबल. आप वापिस नहीं जा सकते लाइफ टाइम तक, जब तक कंपनीज इंडियन अकाउंटिंग रूल्स में कोई अमेंडमेंट नहीं आ जाती. यू नीड टू अप्लाई इंडियस टिल द लास्ट, टिल द गोइंग कंसर्न आपको बनाना पड़ेगा. देयर इज नो ऑप्शन टू गो बैक टू द ओल्ड अकाउंटिंग स्टैंडर्ड्स, ओल्ड गैप. Differences between AS and NDS, sir. First difference is number of disclosure is esteemed, is extreme. If you are applying AS and your financial statement is make of 5 or 20 pages, in India this financial statement of the same company after applying the NDS will be converted into approximately 100 pages due to the number of the increased disclosure. Second, then the number of the increased transparency AS के अंदर भी है. I'm not saying that accounting standards are not transparent. They are transparent, but India's is more transparent and more focused towards the stakeholders. Third, India's focus on the fair value. India's focus on the fair value. Everything stated in the India's is at fair values, fair values, fair values. I'm not giving to the proper explanation because in 1 hour I'm trying to convince you only one thing, sir. My main opportunity and my main goal is to convince you one thing, sir. If you learn India's with heart, not by theory, with heart, with your mind practical approaches, if you love India's never leaves you at any cost. Sir, आपकी प्रैक्टिस बहुत इंक्रीज हो जाएगी, बहुत स्कोप है और यही फ्यूचर है. आई नो इनकम टैक्स इज द फ्यूचर, जीएसटी इज द फ्यूचर, लेकिन सर इसकी अपॉर्चुनिटी बहुत है क्योंकि सर 167 कंट्रीज में इंडिया लग रहा है और इंडिया के अंदर भी विद इन नेक्स्ट 2 to 3 years एवरी एंटिटी विल बिकम देयर फाइनेंशियल स्टेटमेंट एज पर इंडिया's principle. You see the opportunity immense. And one more thing, sir, I tell you the applicability to only 2 criteria, listing and net worth. Let me see you that notification by the NAFRA. Sir, this is the official letter by the National Financial Reporting Authority, an independent regulator appointed by the government of India. They write the letter to the Honorable Secretary of the Institute of Chartered Accountants of India, ICAI, recommendation on under section 133. And what NAFRA said means, if anything comes from the NFRA, that means that this thing is automatically comes from the government of India, and they make the clear remarks. This is the main important paragraph, India's applicability threshold 7.4. They made that currently, they made the thing currently the primary criteria for the mandatory applicability of India's as per company rule 2015. सर 2015 क्यों बोलते हैं सर? ये देखो सर, नोटिफिकेशन 16 फरवरी 2015. These rule may be called the company's Indian Accounting Standard Rule 2015. They shall come into force on 1st April 2015. Date है 16 फरवरी 2015. मतलब सर 8.5 years has been passed that India is existing in the Indian country. 8.5 साल हो गए हैं सर. आप देखना 1.5-2 साल के बाद you will see all the financial statement will become majorly on the basis, on the principle of the NDS, on the fair value principle. See, first I am saying to the listing criteria, second net worth. But now the major change is that however, this is not saying by me, नफरा बोल रहा है. However, turnover and borrowings from bank and financial institution by the companies or overall indebtedness of the companies is also an important feature indicating existence of the public interest. Therefore, there is a need, जरूरत है, need to revisit the currently prescribed criteria and consider inclusion of turnover basis पे भी आ जाएगा. India's mandatory applicability will in future will you will see net worth listing also turnover borrowing advance indebtedness is also as a criteria for the India's applicabilities. So sir, again I will close my statement with just one word. Standards is the future. If we learn them and reach them, love them, they will also give back to us in a very good manner. Take care. Jai Hind, Jai ICI. Thank you, ma'am. I really thank to the CP committee of the ICI for giving me this wonderful opportunity, and also the moderator, ma'am, Himasha Ben. Thank you, ma'am. Thank you so much.
Yeah, thank you so much, CA Karthik. This was wonderful. We had a rich audience of close to 530 participants, who could enrich their knowledge based on what you shared. And you wonderfully took us through the difference between AS, Ind AS, the similarity between IFRS and Ind AS, and how we need to be future ready. इनफैक्ट जैसे कोई प्रोडक्ट के लिए ब्रांड होता है, सीए के लिए स्टैंडर्ड होगा, एंड खुद का स्टैंडर्ड बढ़ाने के लिए इंड एएस वाला स्टैंडर्ड तो बिल्कुल फॉलो करना है.
मैम, आवर ऑनरेबल आईसीआई के जो हमारे प्रेसिडेंट साहब है निकेत तलाती सर, उन्होंने ये बात बहुत, दे आर ऑलरेडी टोलिंग वन मोस्ट थिंग, दैट वी आर एक्सेप्टेड नॉट इन इंडिया, ग्लोबली, only because of India's, because the main source of India's is IFRS, and IFRS is applicable to 167 countries.
Right.
This is the main reason, ma'am. We don't need to do CFA, ACCA, CIMA courses. We don't need anyone. Right. We only, our Indian qualification is best. CA right. qualification.
Very true. So thank you so much. I'm sure all the members have enriched themselves and will surely take this wonderful opportunity futuristic, and we need to be future prepared. So on behalf of the CP committee of ICI, I extend a hearty vote of thanks for your wonderful deliberation on the topic, and with so much enthusiasm you led us right through it. Thank you so very much. Over to you, Ajit ji.
Thank you. Thank you, Karthik ji, for this wonderful session and very enthusiastic session, I can say, in fact.
Thank you, sir.
A very connecting and interactive session. Hema ji, thanks to you also, because of course the CP committee, as a objective of this committee, of course, we are doing the programs and we are giving opportunity to, of course, that one is the experienced faculties, of course, because the members want to listen to them. Some of the newcomers, we can say, who are the faculty, but they are not getting the, platform, I can tell. Same way the moderator, of course, moderator also like faculties, but sometimes they're not getting platform, in their area. So one of the objective is to, provide the right platform to all our members. So thank you very much, Hema ji, for moderating this session very well, wonderfully on behalf of the committee. I would like to say thanks to Karthik ji, Abhishek ji, Hema ji, and most valuable are all the participants who are watching this session continuing from last 2 hours. So thanks to all of you. And of course, Karthik ji and Abhishek ji, we thank you very much and would like to have more sessions in future as well.
Thank you so much,
Abhishek.
Thank you, Abhishek sir.
Thank you,
Abhishek sir.
Thank you, everyone.
Thank you, everybody.
Thank you, ma'am.
Okay.